The door to awaken Isagi's true, unhinged ego has finally opened. The transformation into Himsagi and the greatest striker in the world has arrived as Noel Noah, his mentor, idol, and teammate has unlocked the monster within. But that's not all. Isagi's new upgraded weapon will score to defeat Rin, which will mean he is going on an insane winning streak, losing no games in the Neo Egoist League and being ranked 1. Now, how did this happen? Well, for starters, Bastard Munchen vs PXG. It has many twists and turns, breaking our necks back and forth with how competitive this game truly is. Now, besides Kaiser and Isagi's rivalry for the crown, where they are in a competition to be the leader of the logical team, Rin, he also found his true ego of destruction, which led to him becoming an unstoppable force, just like Itoshi intended. Like in chapter 275, Rin surpassed Itoshi for the first time, with Isagi being the one that put his life on the line to challenge him. Sai once told us that Isagi, he's the heart of Blue Lock in the Under 20 game, and he secretly pushed this rivalry even further to ensure Rin would develop into the best striker in the world. Now, to learn more about that, watch this video on your screen and hit the notification bell, you silly willy, because you didn't know that we covered it. Essentially, Rin's nature is to break things as he did in childhood. This mentality grew when he watched his favorite anime, where at school, all the kids would support the hero called Evolve Man, who'd use people's support to overpower the villain. However, Evolve Man has a hidden meaning that's going to blow your mind. Blue Lock uses chapter 271 as a metaphor to represent Rin and Isagi's rivalry. Evolve Man represents Isagi, who adapts, and you guessed it, evolves to stand back up to destroy the monster with support. It takes away the life force from people to attain victory. This matches up with Isagi's playstyle of football, which uses others to score goals. He literally said it in the PXG game that he would sell his soul to defeat Rin and attain victory. But on top of that, in chapter 275, Rin states it's time to burn my life to reach a new personal best. Just like the monster in the anime, where Isagi was the only one willing to put his life on the line to match him. However, because Rin is the ultimate monster who self-destructs to get stronger, which leads to an unstoppable inspiration to beat someone better than him, just like we saw in the game, this means Rin and Isagi need each other to grow more powerful as they devour one another non-stop. This leads to Rin scoring a goal with a free kick in mid-air, people. Hacker. Eventually, Isagi deduces he made all the right choices with metavision to stop Rin's goal, but realizes he was used to awaken a prodigy. But his rival tells Himsagi he has a duty to kill him. Now, on the restart of the match, Isagi wants to prove that he's a genius at adapting to the world, but Loki shuts down his dreams by showcasing his immense speed and that those born with physical talent to be gifted at football disprove all logic that he can think. But Himsagi, he gets put down even further when he starts to believe Noah, his sensei, he was using him to evolve Kaiser as the king of the team. So before Isagi can give up on his dream, his ego tells him to crush every single person on the pitch, including the masters. This led to a ridiculous free kick saved by Loki that broke the entire story, as the Kaiser impact was stopped. However, Isagi states he needs to understand the concept of a genius to win the game. That way he can understand himself better. And ladies and gentlemen, that's when the pin drops. Isagi figures out that he's a talented learner, not a genius. Our MC, he starts crying that he's not special and will disappear, as all his feats of football were attainable by a hard worker, which means he can't imagine himself winning against Rin, Loki or Noah. But yet again, Jinpachi ego claims our MC can now learn the formula of evolution once reaching this spear. This was part of his plan all along, stated in chapter 285. It was a gamble whether he could handle it or not, gaining the mindset to endure. For example, in chapter 281, Isagi realizes that Kaiser, wait a second, he's just like him, as they call God unfair together. They are just talented learners, whilst the world's best strikers have insane abilities that they were gifted with from birth. Ego explains the difference between the two. Geniuses are anomalies, born without the traits of their parents, and these anomalies happen to be useful for the sport. They're often misunderstood because of these traits, but eventually they become the world standard, but not on their own. No. Rin is the perfect example of this. In his childhood, he was often misunderstood for his destructive nature, even supporting the villain of the anime rather than the hero, right? But Sai noticed he had a talent to be a striker better than him, so he pushed him down on purpose to view Isagi as his rival to ensure his football style evolves past himself but into his own nature. However, as Ego explains, the ones who reach their genius level and make their achievements more feasible are talented learners, as they reproduce the same effects players like Rin and the world best do. That's how human beings have evolved, so the same applies to football. The mutant geniuses with abnormal physical abilities who become singularities, and the talented learners who analyze those very people form new tactics and data to counter them. That is the formula for evolution. The world doesn't just revolve around geniuses. As a result, Isagi and Kaiser now have their own paths to become the greatest. For instance, Isagi notes Kaiser has always played with logic. Even his weapon, called the Kaiser Impact, was something he thought up to go against geniuses. Then it all clicks. All geniuses have self-style egos, whilst talented learners evolve best from the world style. Isagi follows the world freedom type, which is to understand the state of the pitch whilst looking for ways he can have the most freedom and possibility so that he can reach flow and a goal opportunity, whilst Kaiser uses world restriction ego, which prefers to force himself into tough situations and play with people that he has to force a pass from to reach flow. Eventually, Isagi states that Kaiser is holding his own despite not being a genius, noting that the reason he came so far was because he threw away his meaningless pride. So this means Isagi starts to see himself as a mere pawn, a useless bystander in the face of these geniuses. None of his emotions matter anymore. He just needs to win as he always wanted. So Isagi evolves more than ever. He allows himself to lose against Rin, to let Kaiser be the one to stop the next goal that would have ended the game. Isagi stops being selfish and completely ego-driven for the sake of winning, and that led to Gagamaru saving the shot. That's not all either though, because Isagi is feeling better than ever thanks to this win. He not only stopped Rin, but Loki's plan as well. He sold his soul to evolve and achieve victory, where he starts to talk smack to Rin, not letting him gaslight that Isagi did not stop him on his own. So with a Uno reverse, Isagi calls Rin the tepid one. He didn't just stop one goal, the world was eagerly awaiting the arrival of a new hero, a super goal, but he crushed it, bending history to his will. He proved that a talented learner can defeat a genius, as logic surpassed Rin's inspiration. And bruh, the look on Rin's face, just look at it for a moment, he knows he's awakened a monster. As a result, Isagi has never felt so much egotistical pleasure in his life. And just as both Loki and Noah are subbed out, he has a few more words. After witnessing Rin fail to become a hero and not score through his pass, Loki, despite claiming Rin inspired him to come on the pitch to have fun through his goal, he immediately chats shit, stating that Japan is useless. They will never produce a good striker in 1,000 years, and Rin was a waste of time. Basically, throwing him away as if he was a useless toy just like his brother. But when Isagi hears this, he's like, bitch, did you you just say that? I'm gonna shut your ass up, Loki. He claims Loki is the one who lost. His vision of Rin scoring was crushed by him and Kaiser, telling him to admit it, even going as far as telling Loki that he has no right to be arrogant. He just happened to be born fast, which makes him a good player. And, you know, he might not be wrong, because with the recent performances of Mbappe at Real Madrid, especially against Liverpool, I'ma say some of you actually would agree and say, Isagi, he cooked his ass for real. But all jokes aside, Isagi states this in front of millions of people watching the Neo League. Even when Noah tries to step in, Isagi ain't done, bitch. Telling Noah he's the exact same as Loki. He'll find a theory to surpass him, and the next World Cup is his. Literally, everyone around the world is in shock. Isagi just declared war against the world's best, with all the other players noticing how twisted Isagi has become. The whole reason he came up with this new way of thinking was because of Kaiser. He's the final piece of the puzzle. However, you may not have noticed this, but this new idea also links to Mark Snuffy. While Blue Lock often emphasizes individual ego and striving to become the best, Snuffy focused on teamwork and collective effort. His strategy revolved around players fitting into a system where their individual strengths contribute to the team's success, rather than chasing personal glory. Snuffy's philosophy was the importance of making responsible choices both on and off the field, where he advises players to think beyond the immediate game and discourages reckless behavior and encourages smart decisions. Remember, he even attempted to destroy Baro's ego, but now Isagi has done just that. So realistically, our MC is using a part of Snuffy's ideals by doing something we'd never expect. He asks Kaiser for a team up so that they can destroy the Neo League once and for all as fellow talented learners against geniuses. This leads to Isagi telling Kaiser to be a play beyond their imagination. They need to combine with a logical play, therefore using himself as a tool so that they can prove to the world that they mean something. However, Isagi and Kaiser also have their rivalry regarding who will be the leader of Bastard Munchen, based upon who scores the more goals, right? But they will leave that aspect to luck. So despite hating each other's guts, the agreement is made due to their aligned goal of wanting to devour Noah, resulting in this epic high five that hyped everyone. But guess what? A huge plot twist occurs again. This was all part of Jinpachi's ego's plan all along, using Noah as a tool. He gave both Kaiser and Isagi the ideal environment to grow and awaken their true ego, leading to other people having the same motivation to match their leaders. Like when Igarashi went on to ask Isagi for help to increase his stats and also develop a weapon to eventually end up in the game against PXG, and it actually worked. On top of this, Noah wanted a challenge to make himself even better. Kaiser was the only player on the team that surpassed him in any aspect because of the Kaiser impact, but he still wasn't close to Noah's ability. But the thing is, the world's best wants to play against people better than him, so he can evolve as well. He manipulated Isagi to go against Kaiser, which resulted in this evolution. Eventually, in chapter 285, Noah comments on Isagi that Jinpachi ego didn't create the Neo League for money, but to accelerate the skill of his program by opening the door of Isagi's true ego. Our MC will have the greatest ego in the world that will be an intense poison igniting everything, which means Isagi will change the world of football with his final goal against PXG. But there's another problem seen in chapter 286. Although Isagi and Kaiser's team up is proving to be seriously overpowered, where the others even claim together that they're too good, the opposition also awaken. Isagi and Kaiser instantly steal the ball from Rin, shutting his ass down by outdoing his vision. They will alternate with each other to block any shooting angles that Rin attempts. Bastard Munchen all work together in perfect perfect sync to prove that they are the best, with Isagi and Kaiser breaking the entire defense. Kaiser even does a fake for Hiyori to get the ball. He specializes in passing and sets the tempo of the attack, using metavision to effortlessly link up. Now, by anticipating Isagi and Kaiser's movements, Hiyori minimizes the time it takes for them to strategize and increase the speed of play that PSG they can't simply keep up with. He states Kaiser and Isagi have become the heart of the team, and his pass will be the future of a new era. Isagi immediately catches it and uses metavision to figure out a goal using the weapon 2-gun volley. However, Karasu awakens his ego, which causes a freaking deflection. This creates luck and perfectly plays into the theme that there are players who are born lucky, and those like Isagi or Kaiser who make their own luck by being in the correct position. They have to be blessed by the goddess. The ball then drops for Kaiser Impact to end the game. Yeah! No, what? Out of nowhere, Charles blocks it with his big fat head.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Charles is considered the heart of PXG because his passing is the reason the team is able to score. With his IQ being so high, he uses metavision to see the play coming. So Isagi realizes that Charles read the movement of both their shots, and the story then highlights that they are not the only talented learners. Charles and Karasu are the same type of idiots who are trying to conquer the football world by joining together. Guess what? This only gave Isagi another piece to his puzzle to complete it, as he increases his vision even further to also consider the prodigies and talented learners who evolve on the opposite side, which will only end up in him, Sagi, scoring against PXG to come out on top of every single leaderboard. Now, to enjoy more peak fiction, watch this video about Triple D with how Okoden and Momo fell in love.